Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and another blog hop with the Crafty Christmas Club. It's the 25th of the month, so we like to bring you some ideas for Christmas cards. Today I am going to be featuring a fun Lawn Fawn stamp set that I haven't used very much, so I thought this was the perfect chance to break out the Holiday Helpers stamp set. I think these little elves are adorable, so I wanted to make a little scene of the elves having a wrapping party. So I am stamping out some of the images, and then in the end I actually stamped out quite a few more because I then decided to make this into a slimline card and needed to fill up a lot of real estate. This turned in, like parties do, into a really big party. It starts out small and then somebody invites somebody else, and before you know it, there's stuff everywhere, there's tons of people and all the things. And that's what happened. This little elf party just exploded into a lot of fun. So I'm doing some Copic coloring on my elf images. I am using red and green for their outfits, kind of alternating where red is the main color and green is the main color. And I will end up doing 4 of these elves total, so I really wanted to play with different combinations for their hair color and skin color, and I always think that's super fun, maybe because I'm kind of new at doing that, like coloring hair and skin, and so I like to see what new combinations I can come up with. So I will do that on these little elves for fun, and it's a small area to play with, so you don't have to worry about getting like all that super awesome texture and shine in the hair, because like I said, I'm new at doing this, so just getting the blend in is my main concern. I love how these little images color out. Like, they're just so fun to color, these little toys. I didn't really show me coloring them. They're such small images that I used 1 or 2 colors to color them out. And I used, like, I don't know, 87 Copic markers for coloring all the things. But like I said, you just bring out a few markers and color these up. And because I like Lawn Fawn images so much and I color them a lot with my Copics, I really like the Copic original markers, those square ones, because they have a bullet tip, and it is really good for coloring in those small areas. So I like the original markers. I would love for you to let me know what you like, what your preference is. I know the sketch ones are super popular, but I've started to only buy the originals now. And I know I can get a brush nib to replace the big fat chisel tip at the other end. So I might do that because I love that bullet tip on them so much. And they hold a little bit more ink as well. So there you have it. There's my 2 cents. All right, so I'm coloring out this present now, and I wanted to make it look a little bit more fun, so I'm bringing in this Tide Blue stamp pad from Altnew. It just seemed like the perfect combination for the colors that I chose to color this present. And I'm taking the teeny tiny snowflake from the Holiday Helper stamp set and stamping on this present. Now, when I went and stamped out more images for this card, I also brought in the Ho Ho Holidays because I wanted some smaller presents that were already wrapped. So you'll see those when we get to that part of the card. I am now creating a background for my slimline card using Distress Oxide ink. I'm using Salty Ocean and Tumbled Glass. This is probably my 2 most used colors for my Distress Oxide. It's great for a sky, a water scene. This is kind of a snowy scene. Yeah, it's an outdoor snowy sky scene. I'm going to go with that. So I wanted it to be really dark at one end and then fade to white at the other end. When I do Distress ink blending, I like to go in first with a light layer, then I don't have to worry about like, oh, is the blend perfect? Can you see any of the lines? Because I go in with a second layer and then all those things just smooth out. So try not to stress on your first layer and then come in with a second layer, sometimes even a third layer. You're going to get your blend smoothed out and all those lines smoothed out as well. Now, I like to spray mine. I like to spray it every time. I love the splatter, so I did that. And next I'm going to splatter on some liquid Stardust from Lawn Fawn. My tube doesn't squeeze out, so I have to remove that little topper, and then I put it in a little dish, spray it with some water, and I'm going to splatter that on with a paintbrush, and I put it all over. So you do you. You like a lot of splatter, or do you like a little splatter? If you've watched any of my videos, you already know this, but I love splatter. I like to splatter all the things. I like multiple kinds of splatter. So here I've got water splatter, shimmer spray, or shimmer splatter, and now I'm going to have colored splatter. So I took that same Tide blue ink. I'm mixing it up with the same paintbrush that I just used for that liquid Stardust, and so I will get some of that shimmer mixed in with that and splatter that on as well. So now I've got my 3 layers of splatter, and it makes me oh so happy. But if you don't love splatter, you don't have to do this much. You could just go with the water in the background and it would already make it look really fun. But this is a party. This is an elf party, so I wanted it to have all the splatter. All right, I'm bringing in this die. It is from Whimsy Stamps, and I am die cutting my panel so that it's going to have these different little layers in it. This is the Wavy die, and so I think you could easily use this for something other than snow, like waves or hills, but it's pretty versatile, so I can create little scenes in these different areas, and that's what I wanted to do. So I also die cut some from plain white cardstock. I have all these extra pieces that I could save for smaller scenes, but I glued those 3 extra white ones together, and then I'll glue this one that has my ink blending on it on top of that to make it more raised up than the little panels that I am going to inset back into this. So I have 2 layers for my card. My card base is 9 by 8 inches, scored at 4 inches, and my layer is 8 3/4 by 3 3/4 because that die cut is 3 1/4 by 8 1/4, I believe. I had it up on the screen for you so you can see all the measurements, but you really want to just check the size of your business envelope when making a slimline card. The box I got fits a 9 by 4 card perfectly, so that's what I'm doing. But if it's smaller, this die will still work. You just don't have to do all the layers. Your die could be exactly 8, or your card could be exact size of this die, which again is 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. So it's up to you. Make it the size that fits what you have. So I glued all those layers together, and then I can inset those pieces back into the die cut, but the die will be slightly higher, giving it a little bit of dimension. So I'm just pressing those into place and getting all the edges and corners down in with the help of my crease tool. And I found after this one that it was better to put the glue around the edge. I really wanted those edges to stick down as I put these in. So that finishes that, but I wanted to make sure I had a sentiment in my card, so I stamped it on the last layer before putting it in, and it says, "Have a Merry Christmas." So I'll glue that one in now that it's stamped, and that will finish up the backdrop, and then it's time to bring in all of those colored and die cut images. You'll see here I went to town. I pulled out all of those little pieces that were like the scissors, the tape, the ribbon, the wrapping paper. I even used the reindeer from the Ho Ho Holiday set along with the presents from there. So here I am just laying out where I think I want everything to go. So I've greatly sped this up because it's just like, I don't know, like a little game. Where do I want this to go? Where do I want that to go? A little puzzle. It's the fun part, I feel, of this card. And then once I have that all figured out, then I can go back and adhere everything. I wanted the little bear to pop up from the present, so I took this die from the set, which cuts a slit in that present, and then I can easily slide the little bear inside the present. Isn't that perfect? So I'll glue him in place, and then I can go ahead and stick that down to my card. So I will need some foam squares for this and some glue because I want some of the things to appear as if they're farther back, and so those things I won't have any foam squares on. But I did use quite a few foam squares for this card. All the elves will be popped up and the reindeer as well. and this large present too. So I like the bow on there, and then the lid to the present's kind of offset. So cute. So you can see here it is quite the elf wrapping party going on, and I have all the things, the wrapping paper, the scissors, we've got some hot cocoa, a candy cane, the nice list, and there's a bunch of cute sentiments in this stamp set, so you could easily pick them, pick out another one for the inside of the card. And also the Ho Ho Holidays stamp set that the reindeer and the wrapped presents are from has Santa in it. So I might go back and color a Santa and put him on the inside and put the sentiment that says you're on my nice list. Wouldn't that be cute? I didn't do it yet because really, honestly, I spend a lot of time coloring these images and die cutting them out, and it was so much fun. It was just needed. I really enjoyed playing with my Copics. I recently charted them all out, like color swatched them on a chart, and so just seeing them on the chart really inspired me to play and color with my markers, and this was the project that I was doing that on, so I had a ton of fun playing with them. And there you can see I did a little boy with brown skin and black hair, and he's so cute, and then the other elf has the blonde hair. And I really wanted to add freckles to my little redheaded elf, but I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do with that, and I was afraid I was going to mess him up. So if you have a good idea for freckles, because alcohol markers tend to spread out, so I didn't want to use an alcohol marker, and I didn't want to use a black pen, so I guess I just would need the right tool to add little freckles. But could I ask Lawn Fawn, if you're watching, could you make a little freckle stamp? Right? They have the cheeks, so they could make a little freckle stamp, right? I don't know. That would be the smallest stamp ever, probably. But it's a good idea. So I'm adding some highlights now with my white gel pen, which really helps bring these images to life. And I think it's such a fun scene. It's quite busy, I know, but it's just a fun card and a lot to look at. And this cute little busy scene is very festive. So that is my Christmas card for this month's Crafty Christmas Club hop. I will have all of these all the links for the hop on my blog, so make sure that you click the link in the description box below and head over to my blog and check out all the fun that's going on for this month's hop. And feel free to leave a comment here and there and let people know if you like their cards. It's always nice for a creator to hear from those that they're sharing with. So I hope that you have a fabulous day and are inspired to start working on some Christmas cards. I will be back again very soon with another video, and I will see you then. Happy stamping. Bye.